Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm the Writing Specialist here at Chesapeake College's Academic Support Center. And this is a video for new tutors, teaching them a little bit about how they'll use TutorTrac on a weekly basis. TutorTrac is the software that Chesapeake College uses to keep track of all the data regarding the students that come in for tutoring at the ASC. So it keeps track of how long a student was here, what subject they came for help in, and which tutor that they worked with specifically. It's a great resource for us to show how awesome we are here at the ASC. So this video will go through a number of topics for you. It's going to show you specifically as a tutor how you'll be using TutorTrac. So the receptionists and the staff members use TutorTrac a little bit differently, but this video is particularly for tutor usage. So the things that we're going to go over with are how to access TutorTrac and log into the website, how to look at your schedule for the day, how to modify data about visits that reception has logged in and out for you, how to enter data if you've had a session with a student and you don't see it in TutorTrac, which I'll show you the instances in which that might happen, and what to do if you see a visit that's an error and that you'd like to have deleted. So the first thing that we'll do is access TutorTrac, and it's a website for now, which you can bookmark on your computer, and the address is http://chesapeake.go-redrock.com. This will bring you to a login screen. Every tutor's username is distinct, and it will be your first name and your last name, all one word and all lowercase. So I'll log in as myself. My screen might look a little bit different from yours because I've personalized my colors and my widgets on my home screen, which I'll show you how to do, and also because I'm a senior staff member, so I might have a few extra buttons or options which you don't see on your home screen. Now the password is a standard password for all tutors. You can come to a senior staff member and we'll give you that password. This brings you to the main menu. Now your main menu, the first time that you log in, will look a lot blanker than this. I think you'll only have this initial main menu screen and you won't have any of these boxes on the side. These little boxes on the side are called widgets. They're like extra little apps that you can add to your TutorTrac profile. So in order to get that, you would go to this icon here in the upper left-hand corner, which we call the trackman. If you hover over this and click on it, and then you go to an option called My Prefs, this will give you options about all of the different kind of widgets that you would want on your home screen. The ones that I suggest are the ones that I have clicked right now. The other ones I've tried out and didn't find very useful. So I liked to have the calendar, the mini log list, the quick visit, and the color picker. The color picker is how you just change your colors and kind of play with the look of your TutorTrac screen in case the font or the contrast ever bothers your eyes. So you would just click the ones that you wanted and click Save Prefs, and that would adjust your main menu screen to look more like this one. So if there's ever a message, there might be a message here. So this is where your eye goes first on the main menu screen. So what are the things that you'll most likely be doing inside of TutorTrac? You'll be looking at your schedule for the day, or maybe a coworker's schedule, and you could do that here. I'll show you this in a second. And you'll also be creating quick visits, which you can do through this screen, as well as look as a visit log of all of the visits, which you do up here at this magnifying glass to this button that says Visits. So first, we'll look at the schedule. If you click on View the Schedule, there's a couple things that you'll need to click on in order to get the right information. First, you'll have to click the day that you wanted to look at. So right now, Thursday the 26th is picked. Just for this video, I'll click on this previous Monday, the 23rd of February. And on the left-hand screen here, you'll see the different kind of schedules that Chesapeake College has. We have our Cambridge Center schedule, our Y Mills Center schedule, and our embedded tutoring schedule. So most of you, if you're working in our ASC, will be here in Y Mills. So that will be the schedule that I use for this tutorial. If you click on this schedule, this will show you the schedule for everyone working inside of the ASC on the 23rd of February. So over here on the left are all the times of the day, and here at the top are all of the various tutors. If you scroll through, you can see all these blocks of colors that show you which tutors are working at which time. Now, if a box is blue like this, it means that the tutor does not take appointments by nature. They're usually a drop-in tutor, which is math and science, but it'll show you when a tutor begins and ends their shift. If the tutor's box is green with all of these different times, it means that they're a writing tutor, which can take different appointments at half-an-hour increments, and you might see these yellow boxes which show the appointments that you have coming up if you are a writing tutor. So this shows you everyone on shift for the day. A key little point, if the text in here ever gets so small that it's hard for you to read, know that there's this gray button here. If you click and drag it, it will expand each box so that everything looks a little bit easier to read. You could also look at one person's individual schedule by clicking on that person's name, such as yourself. This is a good habit to get into when you start your shift, especially if you're a writing tutor. It's good to know that at a specific time you have an appointment coming up. That way, if a student comes in 5 minutes before, you'll be able to say, well, I have an appointment here at 2:30, so it'll have to be a quick question or you'll have to work with someone else for this particular question that you have. So that's how to look at the schedule. When you start each semester, these will already be in place. The senior staff puts the tutor schedules together, so you'll never have to create your own schedule. Now, how to modify data about existing visits. This is how it works. Receptionists are responsible for logging students in and out of the center. When a student is logged in and then logged out, it automatically creates a visit within TutorTrac, which shows the system that the student was here for a period of time and worked with a tutor. In a perfect scenario, a receptionist would always be able to log in every student and log them out. And as a tutor, when you go to check your data, all the visits that you saw for the day will already be there. So you keep paper records of every student that you see. You make sure that you mark down the time that you were with that student, the student's name, the class, and any notes that you have. And the habit to get into may be once a week or even once a day, if you're particular about your data, is to compare your paper notes with the visit log screen. So that will say everything that I have is correct, but obviously a receptionist will not be able to enter notes in your screens. So if you have any notes about your sessions, writing tutors might have notes, and maybe even science and math tutors here at the ASC might have notes, and you would want to enter them into your visits. Now, as a habit, embedded tutors who see many different students for shorter increments of time do not need to enter notes because that would be quite cumbersome for you guys. So let's look at the log screen so that we can look at our data. So up here at the magnifying glass, if you go to visits, now this is only going to show us the visits for this particular day, only 2. You can see there have been over 10,000 visits logged so far here in TutorTrac. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click List Options and then List All. Then within this, now that you see all of the visits, click List Options again and click Search. You're going to want to search by your consultant. Your box will look a little different than mine. You'll have a drop down and the only tutor that you'll be able to see is yourself. But mine is an enter screen. I'm going to search for my own appointments. So I have 30. And here are all the visits. I can organize this screen by organizing by student ID number, by the visit number, a student name. All of these things it highlights are ways that I can organize the data. So most likely, the most useful button will be Date In. If you click this, it will sort first by the oldest session that you've had. So you'll want to click it twice to get the most recent data that you have. And then what you're going to want to do when you see, okay, this is just the visit I had just yesterday. Say I'm going now to reconcile my data. I would click on this blue link next to the visit, which will open up the visit entry screen. And here within this screen is where I would modify my data. So perhaps I know that I worked with Tammy only until 5:30 and not until 6 o'clock. By clicking on these little blue clocks, you can modify the time that you work with a specific student. You could also change any of these things. You could change the location, you could change the reason, the class, and you can enter your notes. We have a new drop down here also, one-on-one, intermittent, or quick question. So these are mostly for math tutors and science tutors that might have wanted to remark that the student was only here for one quick college algebra question and then they were out. So that's a good thing to note. You would change everything that you wanted to change within this screen and press Save. Now you'll need to do that for every visit that you see that the receptionists have already created for you. But there are several instances in which when you go to these screens to look at all of your data, you might find that you've had several tutoring sessions that you don't see listed on the log screen. And that could be if a receptionist was out for the day and therefore there was no one to log the student in or out, or if you've been serving as an embedded tutor. If you're an embedded tutor in a math or science or even an English class, you're responsible for creating quick visits for every time that you interact with a student because there's no receptionist to keep track of those for you. So on the main menu screen, every interaction will be logged with a quick visit. This opens up a similar screen where you'd fill out everything that you can for your student's tutoring session, and then you would click Save. If you know that you have 10 or 15 to log, you can click Save and New, and it will create a new visit entry. That way the process goes a little bit faster. Now the only thing that I wanted to note here is that when you're searching for a student, the less information that you give TutorTrac, the better. If you try and enter a student's entire name, but you have one small thing missing or incorrect, the student will show up as not existing. So try even a fragment of a last name or a fragment of a first name, and you'd have a much better chance of finding the student because you're casting a wider net. So say the student's last name is Rodriguez, but you can't quite make out how the second half of the name is spelled. Even R-O-D-R, just that little phrase will give you a greater possibility of finding that student. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is if you're ever reviewing your visit data and you find a visit that you know needs to be deleted because it's an error, say you see a visit that's been a duplicate, or say you see that the receptionist has logged you with working with a student that you know that you have not worked with, you as a tutor do not have the capacity to delete a visit. So what that we ask is that you just write down the number of the visit, which was that blue link on the left-hand side, and you bring it to one of the senior staff members, and we can very quickly delete that visit for you, which helps us clean up our data throughout the semester, and it makes our final semester's worth of data much cleaner. So just know that I am a resource for you in terms of TutorTrac. I'm always willing and eager to answer any questions that you might have about how to use TutorTrac or how to log your data. So feel free to just grab me and I will help you out however I can. So welcome to the ASC team and good luck with TutorTrac. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.